Let's bring in Tommy Curran, Patriots insider for CSN New England. How would you answer that, Tom? Do you believe Belichick, Brady, or neither?
There's no both in there.
You believe? Okay. Do you believe both?
You know what? I don't know what to believe. Can I do that? Or is that weaselly?
Little weaselly.
It is a little weaselly because we've seen them. Belichick truly looked blindsided during his session. And Brady looked completely out of his element and taken aback. But the longer this goes, Chris, the harder time I have in figuring exactly what they had done. And the main reason is, have you touched a football that is 10.5 PSI?
Never.
Okay, because I did. That thing is freaking hard. It's amazing. And the difference between 12.5 and 10.5 is incredibly small.
Then again, though, Tommy, I'm not a quarterback. I don't grab a football for a living.
No, that's right. But this is not like Ted Williams picking up his 33-ounce bat and then saying that's too light and finding it's 32 7/8 or whatever. This is not discernible. It really isn't. It was amazing, look, I want to see this whole thing play out and see all the evidence laid out before I start saying he's a liar, he's a liar, he's a liar.
Okay, then what was your number one takeaway from yesterday's press conferences?
Boy, that's a good one. That my number one takeaway was simply that, Chris, that the Patriots have now twisted in the wind. They've stood up there with two very uncomfortable press conferences that were either uncomfortable because they truly don't know what the hell they're talking about or because they're covering something up. So my takeaway is, show us what you got, Roger and company. Tell everybody exactly what the PSIs were before the game of those balls, what all the PSIs of the balls were when you confiscated them, and what you theorize happened to the footballs. I mean, show the numbers, because all we have right now is they were at least, as Mort reported, Chris Mortensen, somewhere as many as 2 pounds per square inch underinflated on the gauge. So that's 10.5. Are they all at 10.5, or are we going to end up having some at, as Belichick said during his press conference, and it was interesting that he alluded to it, are we going to have some that are, 12.1, 11.9, and then one outlier will be there? Because that's the most important thing to me. How egregious was this, and is there another explanation?
I don't know what the NFL would have done if both Belichick and Brady came out and admitted that they deflated the footballs below the legal limit. But with the idea of a possible suspension as a result, did the Patriots have to emphatically deny this?
Do they have to? I don't know. I mean,
would the NFL have suspended Brady if he said he doctored the footballs?
I don't think so. Based simply on the fact that I don't know. I mean, it's a hypothetical. Would they have suspended him? I don't know. I really don't. I mean, if he stuck a needle in him and removed the air, maybe. But I just, there's so much unanswered here, and we have absolutely been a lynch mob on this. We really have, and I was the vanguard of it early in the week, but it's not as. And the reason I was at the vanguard of it was simply because when you look at what they have done in the past, they have to hold themselves to a higher standard. And the league has the right to hold them to a higher standard because of what they've done. They deserve what they get because of, A, the team being as good as it is, it's going to be scrutinized, and B, because of its history, it's going to be scrutinized. So any screwing around with anything, even if all the other teams do it, can't be tolerated. But the longer this goes and the quieter the NFL is, the harder I have understanding exactly what they did.
Talking to Tommy Curran, Patriots insider for CSN New England here on the Dan Patrick Show. Has anyone tried to talk to the equipment manager?
I've tried to find the ball boy via Facebook. The equipment manager, it's indiscern. It's hard to discern exactly who's in charge of the footballs. There's a kid named John Yastrzemski who is often in charge of the footballs.
His name's actually Yastrzemski?
Yeah.
It's kind of funny, isn't it?
J.A. though.
Oh, okay.
And I don't want to throw him, into the pit here, because I don't even know if he's in charge of the footballs for the 2 hours and 15 minutes in between when the officials inspect them and the game begins. So that's the person who I can most easily discern is associated with the footballs most often. But no, no one's located the equipment manager.
One of the things that bothered me, Tom, was that Brady seemed a little bit indifferent about trying to find out what exactly happened. If it was me and my integrity was being questioned, if I'm being called a cheater, I would want my organization to have kind of a witch hunt to see what happened if I was really innocent. Am I off base with that sort of a sentiment?
I think that it is kind of explained to me by saying, look, they're blaming everything on Mother Nature and osmosis here. And until they know what they're up against, I can understand what they're saying. Because, again, the difference between 12.5 and 10.5 is incredibly difficult to discern. And we don't know even if it's 12.5 to 10.5. If, as Belichick alluded to, from now on we're going to pump the balls up to 13.5 so that if it loses a couple of PSI, it's not underinflated. And he used a couple of examples. He said if it goes from 12.5 to 12.3. He doesn't just start whipping numbers out there, I don't think, unless he has something that he's trying to tip people off to. So that, to me, is interesting. Again, that's why you got to feel a ball that's 10.5. I swear, Chris, you have to feel a ball that's 10.5. And we all have to have the information from the league as to what exactly they did. That will help me understand whether or not Tom Brady was nervous because he was lying or nervous because he just has no explanation at all.
Good to visit with you, Tom. Appreciate the time, and have a good time out there in Glendale.
Okay, take care, Chris.
That's Tommy Curran, CSN New England Patriots insider here on the DP Show.